Hello everyone! In this tutorial we are going to make an HTML5 memory game using JavaScript. We're going to be using the Wade game engine made by Clockwork Chili. So first of all we need to navigate to clockworkchili.com/Wade. Now this is going to open up the Wade editor. Wade works on smartphones, tablets, desktop, and basically anything that has a browser. So we are just going to click skip tutorials for now, and we will be asked for a name, and I'm just going to select memory game for this project, and I will just go ahead and click create project. So here we are in the editor, and currently our project is looking a bit blank, so I'm going to drag some images into the project. So I just select my images, and I just drag them into this bottom area down here. Now I did say we would be making a memory game, and for that we are going to have cards that we turn around and they have pictures of animals. So we have a card back image, we have a card front which is just blank, we have a cat, a dog, and an owl. So the first thing we need to do is go into app.js, and we are going to add two variables. So the first is this.visibleCards, and that is going to be an empty array. So when we turn our cards around, because eventually we are going to have 2 rows of 3, we want to know which ones are already facing the player. So we need that array there. We also need to record the number of matches we make, because once that equals 3, the game is over. So I'll just go ahead and save that. Now, understandably, we want to see something on the screen, so I'm actually going to add a basic card right now. So I'm just going to drag that in. There we go, there is our card, and I'll rename it to card. Oh well, car. My D key on my keyboard's broken, that's helpful. I don't know what's going on there. Alright, that'll just be a little bug. We'll fix that, I suppose. So anyway, we've got our car, or card, and it currently has 1 sprite. Now, we need to add a second sprite to it. So we click on the new sprite button, and this is going to be the animal sprite. So for now, let's just set it to cat.png. And the size of this image is 123 by 192. So we've got a cat. But at the moment the card is facing away from the player, so we want to set visible to false, so we just click that flag and our cat disappears, though the sprite is still there. So in properties for the card, we need to add 2 properties. The first one is card, and that is going to be used later when we shuffle them, and we will set that to true. The second is going to be type, and for the moment we just set it to cat, so we choose cat. And we save our project. So we just run this and we still just have our card, nothing really interesting going on. Now, we need to add a card behavior, and I'm going to do that, and then I will duplicate our card so we can see all 6 of them, just to get a better idea of what is going on. So, we need to add our behavior, so we right click here, new file, and we'll just call it card.js. So we open card.js and we create our basic behavior outline, like so. And in here we are going to have 2 functions. The first is this on add to scene. This is where the shuffling will take place later on, but remember, we're not doing that for now. We're just creating the basic skeleton. And the other one is going to be this dot on mouse down. So that's when we click on the card. So we have a behavior. We need to deselect everything to tell Wade about our behavior. So we click on scripts over here, and we say we say card.js, and we click add. So now the behavior is added to our scene. And it just occurred to me we need to, well, we don't have to, but I'm going to set the scene properties. Actually, no, we'll just leave them at 0, 0. The default will be fine. So we need to click on our card, go to behaviors, and add card. So now we can clone this object and it will get cloned with the behavior. That means we only need to change the code in the behavior file and everything should work and be applied to all of the cards. So let's create 6 cards. We're going to set the position of our first one to 0 and the Y to 150. We click our duplicate button here, or Control D, and we set it to -150. And we keep going with this. -210, duplicate again, positive 150. And we're just going to do this for all our cards. So, did I click duplicate? I forgot. 3, 4, no, I haven't. Okay, duplicate object, 210, duplicate object, positive 150. So now we have 6 cards in the scene, and if I just go to the behaviors of this last one, we see the behavior has indeed been cloned. Now, something we need to quickly go ahead and do is make sure there are 2 cats, 2 dogs, and 2 owls. The order doesn't particularly matter because we're going to mix it up later on. So down, dog, I do believe. There we go. Dog, or fog. I cannot type correctly today. And we need owls. So owl and owl. So now we have 2 of each type. We'll just save and run our program to make sure they all display correctly. Yes, that looks pretty good to me. So, we need to actually flesh out our behavior because at the moment it is decidedly boring. So the first thing we need to do is on mouse down, we want to turn the card around. But if the card's already facing the player, we obviously don't want to do that and we want to ignore the input. So, to do that, we can do if this.owner, remember this is a behavior, so to get access to the sprite we need that, get sprite, and we need to put a 1 in there because 1 is the second sprite, 0 would be the first, 1 is the second. So this is our animal sprite, and we need to say is visible. So if the animal sprite is visible, that means that the card is already facing us. So we don't want to be able to click on a card that is already facing us, so all we do is return true at this point. And we save our project. Now of course if the card isn't facing us, we want to actually make the animal visible. So let's just copy that, this.owner.getSprite1, set visible true. And we also need to change the image of the card from the background to the foreground. So we can just do this in a similar manner. There we go, but we use 0, so now we've got the right card. Set image file equal to card front.png. I do believe it is. And I'm just going to go ahead, I'm just going to go ahead, save the project, and I'm going to run that to see if it works. So if I click on a card, yes, they all turn around. If I click on it again, it doesn't glitch out or anything. Excellent, so our code is working quite nicely. Now, we need to get the array of all the visible cards. Now, if you remember, we created this in app at the start. So we can do wade.app.visible cards. And we can just store that in cards, just so we don't have to write this everywhere we need it. So now we've turned our card around, we need to push our own card onto this list. And we do that like so. Cards.push this owner. Now, if the list of cards that are visible is 2, we need to check if the types match. If they do, they will stay turned around. If they don't, we need to turn both cards around so you can't see anything again. So if cards.length is equal to 2, we need to check for a match, basically. The way we do that, if cards 0 dot type is equal to cards 1 dot type, then we have a match. So I'm just going to write that there. We have a match. Now we don't have to do too much here, apart from we do need to say if wade.app.numMatches is equal to 3, and I've just spelled that wrong, extra H. This means that we've already matched all 6 of our cards because we will have 3 matches of 2. So at this point, we will just do Wade.clearScene, and we'll say that is game over. Excellent. Very, very simple indeed. We also, actually, before we do this, we need to increment that counter, so let's just copy that and click plus, plus. Very well. So we are checking to make sure the game is over. So if there's no match, so else, if no match, we need to turn both cards back around. So we need to change both the images. And I think that may be all we need to do. So let's just go ahead and do that. We'll need a for loop because we have two cards. For I equals 0, while I is less than 2, I plus plus. Whoops. And in here, we need to... Yes, we need to turn them back around. So we need to set the image file. So we can do cards. Cards I dot get sprite 0, which is the background image or the foreground, depending on where we are. Set image file. And here, of course, we just go ahead and choose card back. Very nice. The last thing we need to do in here, regardless of whether there is or isn't a match, we will want to do wade.app.visibleCards.length equals 0. We just need to clear it because both cards have been turned around or a match has been made. We just need to clear the visible cards that we are currently interested in. Now I think that is all right, so let's just try and run that and see what happens. So click on a card. At the moment, of course, they're all cats. Ooh, did you see that? What happened there? The background image turned around. We don't want that to happen. Okay, so let's just check. If there is a match, card 0 type matches cards 1 type, which will be the case here. Then, oh, num matches. Well, first of all, there should be an S there, so that's a little mistake, but I don't think it was causing our problem. So, if that is true, if there are no matches, we turn everything back around. So, that doesn't look right, does it? Because as soon as we select our second card, it's not working. Actually, I do think that Wade num matches might actually be the cause of this. We'll see. We'll run it. Yes, it was. So now, our two cats are facing us. They will stay facing us. And if we get all 6, the scene is cleared because we have completed the game. Excellent. So this code is working as it should. But of course, we know they're all cats, which isn't brilliant. So, oh, sorry. Yes, we set this to dog, but at the moment we're not actually setting the image file. So, though we've set the type, the string, we're not actually setting it up. And we're going to do that in onAddToScene, which is also where we are going to shuffle the cards a little bit. Now, there's a lot of ways of doing this, but I'm just going to choose a very simple one to help keep the tutorial rather short. So, onAddToScene, we need to get a list of cards that are currently in the scene. Because we don't know if this is the first card, the second, the third, whatever. So we do get scene objects. And then this is where our isCard property comes in. IsCard true. So that will return any scene object that has the property isCard with it set to true. Okay. Now if cards.length is less than 2, then we only have one card in the scene, and we don't really want to swap our card with itself, because that's kind of a bit pointless, so we're just going to return true if that's the case. Now, we need to choose a random card to swap with. So the way we're going to do that is create a variable called choice equals math.floor. That's because we want an integer value, we do not want a decimal. If we pass that into an array in the C in a minute, it will go berserk. We do math.random times by cards.length. So that will be a number between 0 and 1 below the actual number of cards. Excellent. So what we need to do now is create a temporary variable, which we will call var original, and we will say that is equal to this.owner.type. We will then replace this.owner.type with cards, choice, and the type. Then, of course, we need to set cards choice, the chosen card we are swapping with, dot type, equal to our original value for this card. So we've swapped the types. But now we need to set the images because we've done that as well. So we need to get the sprite for both of them. So this dot owner dot get sprite, and it's 1, it's the animal sprite, dot set image file. And because of a little sneaky trick I did, this is actually very easy. We just do this dot owner dot type plus dot png. Now that's a little bit dodgy, but the file names are named cat.png, dog.png, owl.png, so they've all got the png. And our types, the strings we set, are all dog, owl, and cat. So we can just do this. It's quite a nice little trick, and it just is going to make things a bit easier for us. So we need to do the same thing. I'm just going to copy the end of this. We need to do this for the other card as well. So cards, choice, and then we can just paste that get sprite. But we do need the dot there. So let's save that and let's run this and see what happens. So we've got a dog, and we've got a cat. Ooh. Now they should have disappeared, so clearly we're not setting those invisible. So we go to our onMouseDown function. Yes, in here, in this for loop, sorry, this is my mistake, we need to get the animal sprite and set visible to false. Set visible to false. Oops. So let's just save that and run again. Got a dog and a dog, so we win. Owl and an owl. Oh, that was good, first time. Oh, we've got 3 dogs? That suggests to me I've made a mistake. Let me just check this. Owl, owl, dog, dog, and cat, cat. Yeah, so we are doing something wrong in our mixing function, so let's just have a look at it. And it's very clearly, because I copy and pasted, we've got this a bit wrong. So cards.choice should replace this .owner. There we go. So I think let's just save and run it again. This will always happen a bit with anything you code. Now we do have another problem. If we click on the wrong one, it instantly changes back. And we'd like it to just last a little bit so we can actually see what's going on a bit better. So we're going to add a set timeout into our program. And we're going to do that in this onMouseDown, so I just need to think whereabouts are we going to put this. I think we can put it here. So I'm just creating a bit of a delay, and you'll see the effect this makes once I add it. So set timeout function, and we'll just do that for half a second, so 500 milliseconds. Now we're going to cut and paste all this code. Do we want that bracket? Yes, we do. Into our set timeout, and let's just make sure this works, because a lot of bad things could happen if we're not thinking right. So all of that is in our set timeout function. And actually, I can see a problem already. We need to create a variable called self equals this. This is just because the this context may not longer be valid in our set timeout, so we need to change any reference to this to self. Okay, and also that should be indented one more just for consistency. So, okay, that looks alright. Let's try and run it, see what happens. So if I click on a cat, excellent, that's much better. We saw we had a cat, we clicked and it was an owl, but the owl stayed on screen long enough for us to register that information. So if we click here a dog, we know it's neither of these two. Let's try this one. Oh, that was lucky. So we try the cat, we remember the cat was here, and the owl. Excellent, so our program mostly works. I just want to add one more thing. And this is this game over condition. I think just everything vanishing doesn't look so great. So I'm going to save this. And I want you to click on the smiley face in the top right. Now, if it's not smiling, you'll need to log in. So you'd enter your details and log in. I'm already logged in, so I don't have to worry about that. And then we're going to go to the forum. Actually, no, we're not. Sorry, we're going to go to the shop. I got that wrong. But we can download some extra art assets, like you could download a victory screen here or something, just anything to make it spicy. I do believe there's a fireworks pack. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to add a behavior. So if I click on share and fork, I made this the other day, I do believe. Go to page 2, although it may have changed by the time you get here. Ooh, there's some new ones. And we're going to click on fade behavior. So now, if we just scroll down, and let's just, oh, it was loading, it was just being slow. This is my fade behavior. If you click toggle fade, things fade out, they fade in. Basically, it fades all the sprites of a scene object. So I want this. I'm going to download this. Oh, and it seems I already have it in here, so I'm just going to get that out. And I'm going to paste that into our cards and extract it. Okay. Fade behavior, fade.js. Now it does turn out that I already had it in this folder anyway, so that is good for us. All we need to do is drag it into our project. So we just click here, and we go to where the behavior is, and we drag it in. So now we have a behavior in our project. Now, like before, we need to tell Wade about this, so deselect everything, scripts, fade.js, add. So now Wade is aware of the behavior. Now, we need to make this awesome. And it's going to be very, very awesome. So instead of the clear scene that we are currently doing in cards, we want to fade everything. So first of all, we need to add fade behavior to all the cards. Really, I should have done this before I duplicated it. But it's not too big a problem, so we just go ahead and click on fade and add it to all of these. So not too complicated. Fade, fade, and the last one, fade. Now fade has some properties, but we're going to leave those alone for now. If we take a look at the behavior itself, if we double click on it down here, we see we've got two functions, fade out and fade in, and fade out is the only one we are going to use. So we go back to card.js, we go to wade.clearScene, we're going to get rid of that. Instead, whichever card made the match last is where this will run, so we need to get all of the cards in our scene. And we've already got the code for that. We scroll up, we've got this, var cards equals Wade get scene object is card true. We're just going to put that in here. So if the game's over, we get all of the cards. Then for var I equals 0, var I is less than cards dot length I plus plus. And then all we need to do is cards dot get behavior. There we go. And we need to get the correct behavior here. It is called fade, I do believe. So we'll just try that. Fade dot fade out. And let's see if that works. I'm not actually sure if that is the name of the behavior. I think it is, so let's try that. Owl and a cat, owl and a dog. Okay, cat and a cat. Owl and a dog, okay, dog, dog, owl, owl. And nothing happens, so clearly I've got the name of the behavior wrong. It's my fault, so I'm just going to quickly click on the fade behavior, have a look. Oh, it's a capital F. Classic mistake, so we changed that to a capital F. You can rename it if you want, actually. That capital F isn't really very consistent. Owl and dog, owl and a cat. Okay, cat and a cat, owl and an owl, dog and a dog. And it still doesn't fade. That's quite interesting. Am I doing this wrong? Oh, yes I am. We missed the I off. Oh dear. I'm not having a great day with it today, making lots of little mistakes. So we do this again. Cat, dog. Okay, was that a dog and a dog? Owl and an owl, cat and a cat. Excellent, it fades out beautifully. So there you go. That's how to make a quick memory game using Wade. Now, we have the code in our editor working correctly and our project is looking pretty good. But we need some way to distribute it. So I'm just going to go and close this. And up here next to the save button, we have a download package button. Now remember, Wade is compatible with virtually every device. So if we just click on that, we get the option for Windows binary, Mac binary, Linux, Android, iOS, and so on. But for now, I'm just going to download the source code. To keep this very simple, I'm just going to show in folder, and I will just extract the files just to demonstrate to you what we've got. So we just go in here, and we have our scene, we have app.js, card, all our images. So this would be a very easy thing to share with a friend, or if you actually need to upload it to a website, whatever you need to do. So that concludes our tutorial, and I hope you enjoyed it.